Welcome everyone. It's the second afternoon here at CDMO Live 2025. I'm delighted now to be joined by Maik from Sandoz for a brief Pharma Source podcast interview. I'm going to ask Maik for an introduction of himself and his role, and then we're going to get straight into the podcast with a few questions.
Thanks, Chris. So I'm here at the CDMO Live, the first time, of course, right? So my name is Maik Talarczyk. I'm working for Sandoz in the big pharma industry. We are a fully 100% generic pharma company with more than 20,000 employees worldwide. My function there is I'm working as part of the external manufacturing operations, ESO, external supply operations. So what we do is we are working, and my job is the heading and the director of the PMO Office and Strategy. So what I'm doing is I'm taking care of the organization's external manufacturer, most in the FDF part. So what I'm doing there is I'm looking into the big programs that we have at Sandoz and trying to direct the execution of this program and be part of the success of our company. That's what I'm doing.
Fantastic. Thanks, Maik, for that summary. And you are a very important profile of the attendee that we really love to see at CDMO Live. So it's great to have you here. So thanks for being with us in Rotterdam for the last couple of days. Give us a couple of your highlights of CDMO Live and maybe sum up the event in one or two words as to how it's been for you.
So what I like very much was that we have a great attendance here of CDMOs that you can talk to directly. You can talk openly about the challenges in the industry and also how they see their challenges. So you have, and it's a nice event because it's not too big and it's not too small. So you have, I think I liked a lot the size of the event. So you have a lot of meetings that you can have face to face with some of the CDMOs, and also you can with the application. It was very easy to connect to each other, so it was good. And the application made it easy also for the CDMO to reach to you and have a chat. That's great. What I liked also was the session today in the morning where we talked about network optimization. This was, of course, then when you see Maik talking about how they are approaching it, and they had this program doing there. I lead actually a similar program there where we also talk, and that big pharma always tended to be very opportunistic in the past. When you look at Sandoz with now around 400 suppliers that we have on the FDF part, only talking about API. So we are managing around 400 suppliers. So that brings a lot of complexity. And then looking into see other people and seeing also that other pharma industries and other big pharma industries has the same problem than we have with complexity to handle. So this was very one of the highlights. Of course, Trump 2.0 I like a lot also with Jill. It's always interesting and lovely how Jill is working with so much complexity created by the government in the US now. And of course, and one of my key takeaways there was also, nobody knows nothing now, right? To make yourself crazy with something nobody knows brings you to nothing as well. But what is also the key takeaway, you have to be prepared for whatever can happen. So for the 1, 2, 3 scenarios, be prepared, be ready, and be flexible to react as fast as possible when it's happening.
Thank you. It's fascinating hearing about the complexity of 400 suppliers for one part of the business. That really shows the scale, right? It's really serious stuff. It's a good segue into the next question. Strong partnerships between a sponsor and a CDMO is always key, right? Give us one or two tips from your side that make that partnership strong.
Of course, the openness is key, right? So when we look into now, and also when we look into complexity reduction and also trying to build stronger partnerships, right? We say, okay, guys, it's not always the cherry picking. You cannot be always, we want the high volumes and easy to do things, right? So what we are looking for is, the tip is what I have when we work with CMOs, right? We need to build strong partnerships. That means, okay, you will get a good business, but you have to take also the not so good business. So we have a lot of tail end. We talk about tail end, right? So it's challenging for big pharma to handle this complexity. So for me as somebody looking into the network complexity is if I give you business, I want also that you also invest. We invest in you, you invest in us.
Yeah.
So we want to have CDMOs or CMOs in the future that takes also not only the sherries, they take only the one what is also a little bit smelly.
Yeah.
So, to tell it like that. So it's of course there's not always the big volumes. Yeah. Some of these are complexity, but we will have CMOs in the future who can handle also this complexity and do also some small volumes and be fast and cost competitive. When I'm talking about Sandoz, we are in a generic industry. Cost is a big factor.
Yeah, of course. What's the biggest mistake that you see people or companies make in outsourcing? Not everything goes well all the time, right? So what do you commonly see as a mistake, and what can we as an industry to do to perhaps head that off?
A very good question. I like that. So I would not say the mistakes our CMOs do, because I like always to reflect the mistakes we do at Sandoz. In the past was really that we were very opportunistic, and we were looking into CMOs that more the fastest in the market, the strong and so on. So that always created new suppliers. So the biggest mistake is that you are not ready, and you start looking into contracts. You start looking into let's do an MSA and so on. Only too late. So what is the biggest mistake is you have to be prepared very well and already selected your, let's say, your preferred and your alliance partners, and you have very flexible contracts with them to onboard new business. And to have a relationship with them already to also develop something when what's coming out of the development pipeline. So the biggest mistake is to not be prepared and then very late try to find a solution and then onboard a new supplier then already. So this is, I see, the biggest mistake we did in the past, and we need to correct that. We need to have strong partnerships with flexible contracts that allows us to onboard fast our alliance partners.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and particularly with the context that you're talking about and the supplier volume, that makes perfect sense. My final question, and a really interesting theme at the moment, AI, digitalization in manufacturing. What are your thoughts? What's your approach? What does the future look like? Give us a couple of snippets to finish off the podcast.
That's also a good question. AI and digitalization has a lot of opportunities, right? So when we see AI and digitalization within Sandoz, and there I think somebody said today at the stage there, first, bring your master data under control, because you cannot use AI when your master data are not in control. So I think we have a lot of opportunities here, but we still need to do some groundwork before we do some AI. So not jumping into AI, but we do this very carefully. We are working on the base to bring, let's say, the base data and the master data under a great shape. If you have a master data in a great shape, you can put these AI tools in to bring a lot of value to you as a company, right? This is something we do, but we do it very carefully. We do it very slowly. Also using like Copilot, we are opening the functionality of Copilot slowly, because we don't want to put our company and our intellectual property at risk. Sure. So that's why we do it very carefully and maybe not in the speed that other CMOs can do. Because of the risks we see as well with this. But digitalization brings us, it can be very powerful.
So you see some excitement, opportunity, but proceeding with some caution.
Exactly. That's what I see, and we will go. This is the future, right? But we need to do this very cautiously and very slowly, opening functionality within that. And that brings an, of course, opportunity to connect, exchange data with the right data in the right time with the right partners.
Absolutely. That's all we've got time for. Maik, thank you so much for being here for the last couple of days at CDMO Live 25. Thanks for sparing us some time at very near the end of day 2 for your perspectives on the event, but also the industry. We hope very much to see you in 2026 back here in Rotterdam. Thanks ever so much, and great to talk to you.
It was really a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks for the invitation, and it was really great to have that event, and I think I will definitely come back next year. Thank you so much.
Great to hear. Thanks a lot.